Deadlock. It's back. Or perhaps it never left? Then again, one could argue it could never even be back because it was never here because it's still in closed alpha. But either way, Deadlock has seen a resurgence since its initial reveal and the NDA lift a year ago. That's primarily due to the 6-hero update they recently released. With the update came 6 new heroes that were being rolled out every 2 days, new map overhaul, new music and game intro, a social hideout instead of a static main menu, and much more. So, it's the rise and fall and rise of Deadlock. Now, before we get further into this video discussing my thoughts on the game and my time hopping back into it with this newest update, I want to address the other Deadlock video I had made some time ago titled The Rise and Fall of Deadlock. A lot of discourse was spawned because of that video, and admittedly, it was easy to tell among the commenters who had watched the video and who hadn't. Many people seemed to think I was rage baiting or hating on Deadlock, when in reality, my entire argument throughout the video backed what almost everyone was saying. How could a game that's in closed alpha have a fall off? Now, in the most literal sense, yes, its daily average player count did take a big hit, but the game was, and still is, in closed alpha. I think people still fail to realize what exactly an alpha is. It's not a beta, it's not early access, and it's not a full release. It's still a time where core game mechanics or ideas can be iterated on and changed. They've got the rough idea what they want and where they want to go, but are still able to pivot and react to changes during development and game design when they typically couldn't in beta or full release. And that's evident from my time spent playing Deadlock the other day. It's come a long way from when I last played, and certainly from when I last grinded it, that being nearly a year ago. Not to mention the game was still averaging an insane amount of players for a closed alpha over such a long period of time, and an average player count a lot of multiplayer games would kill for. So, enough jumping to conclusions, please. I further discussed in that video why there's a quote-unquote rise and fall of Deadlock, and I'll dive into more of that today too. But first, I wanted to boot it up and get a feel for it again. I knew a lot had changed, but it definitely took me by surprise. It felt like I was learning a whole new game again, and that's because I'm not entirely wrong. The core gameplay hasn't changed much, but as a MOBA, or MOBA-adjacent game, there's so many small systems and decisions that go into it that once you add up the sum of changes, it compounds and can be overwhelming. And it was. I was very overwhelmed. That might also be due to the fact that the game was using my MMR from a year ago, apparently. I knew they'd implemented rank and rankings, but figured I would have been soft reset at the very least. I didn't figure it out until later, but I guess it had me in High Emissary. And the short of it is, I am not High Emissary. Ah! No! Nice. No! Ah! No! Or at least not anymore. So, the first few games were pretty brutal. But as we collected our L's, like scalpers collecting all the new Pokemon cards, our MMR began to slowly sort itself out. By the end of it, my games were more balanced. I felt more comfortable and was performing much better, both in part to the MMR balancing and getting back into the Deadlock saddle, so to speak. That's also in part as to why I'm doing a commentary about this rather than showing you some gameplay snippets like most of my videos. To be honest, there's not a whole lot to see. But I still want to talk about Deadlock, despite the fact that I think we only won one game on the entire day. There's not many games I would have queued and withstood getting my sphincter pushed in that many times. But Deadlock is one of those exceptions. Valve really has captured lightning in the bottle with this game. It's fun, addicting, frustrating, tilting, brilliant, confusing, and so much more. So why did people ever stop playing? And why will there inevitably be a dip from this current surge? It's really simple. Deadlock isn't finished, or at least close to finished. I can't wait to sink my teeth into Deadlock again like I did the initial launch, but I, and many others, don't want to burn ourselves out before the game ever sees its full release. My reasons are that I don't have as much time as I'd like to dedicate to doing that, and if I can't make content about it, it's hard to justify. With the decline in interest via YouTube videos, etc., it makes sense myself and other creators will wait and return once the beta or release is upon us, and we're on steadier ground. For now, however, things are shifting so frequently. And that's great news for Deadlock. They're able to keep chugging towards progress and that 1.0 release. But as a player, it's hard to keep track of things, and I think it still suffers from a population problem, which is to say, majority of the people grinding are grinding this game. There was a resurgence of beginners with this update, but the pool of players is still very diluted with it skewing towards, well, better gamers. Once the game is publicly available, marketing in full gear, and the launch is upon us, I think that'll be a different story. But right now, it's the dedicated Deadlock players who are consistently returning day after day, which is awesome to see, and I'm sure Valve would agree. It's proof to them that what they have is already very engaging and enjoyable. That's also one of the things that can turn people off, though, especially these days where matchmaking in modern and AAA titles have protected newer players more than before, shielding them from the pub stomp COD lobbies of old. If you have your friends hyping up this new game called Deadlock, begging you to play with them, only for you to finally give in, boot it up, and proceed to get tossed around like a Caesar salad, it's gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth. Unlike a Caesar, though. Love me some Caesar salad. MOBAs are infamous for this. The new player onboarding is always tricky, and with Deadlock's MMR changes since last year, it seems like it's doing a better job of balancing matches, but there's only so much they can do, and that's also not the top priority. I mean, if I'm being honest, I was really disheartened when I played those first few games the other day. I was just getting blasted up the anus. Oh my god, he ulted me. I'm gonna die. What? Ah! No! Nice. Whoa! Ah! No! Despite feeling like I wasn't playing that badly, it made more sense later on once I realized the MMR hiccup, and while I appreciate the game acknowledging I kinda had that dog in me last year, that dog hasn't gone for a walk in a while. It's old and rusty. It needs to limber up first. So all these special case issues of closed alpha are what I believe to be just that. Limited to closed alpha. I don't see how this game doesn't blow up on release and maintain a healthy player base for a long time to come. And in that time, it'll be easier for new players to play and get sucked in. It's the funny thing with MOBAs. The game sucks until you get your first good game. And then suddenly you can't put it down and you're chasing that high forever. I mean, I've been playing League for, what, 12, 13 years now? Now, I know I'm treading pretty familiar territory with the last Deadlock commentary, but after checking it out again, I think the same sentiments I shared then hold true now. But now I want to talk about some of the new stuff I saw and got to experience for the first time. Starting with the map. The heck? Pretty big shock to find the 4-lane system is gone in favor of the more traditional 3-lane approach. This means 3 lanes of 2, and the map as a whole feeling a little smaller. Is the footprint of the map actually smaller? I have no idea, but at least it felt that way. And the art pass to the map, chef's kiss. Wonderful. The streets of this city feel so much more alive with random bits of flavor strewn about and different billboards painting the walls. And mid-boss is now under the middle of the map. Still get confused trying to get down there. The new heroes are all so well done. Between the designs and the kits, I was a big fan. That doesn't mean I was good with them though. Oh, far from it. I was struggling a majority of them. Turns out trying to figure out new heroes, some with some more complicated kits, while trying to get my bearings with everything else new to the game, proved to be a bad idea. Who knew? The Doorman seems like such a creative and skill-expressive character. I doubt he's for me. I'm way too small-brained to make proper use of his portals or doorways, but can't wait to see what diabolical plays others can come up with. Victor was an unkillable demon. That is, whenever I wasn't busy killing myself. He has this aura he can toggle on and off that does AoE damage around him, but does equal damage to himself, and well, I found it very easy to forget to turn it off and suffer the consequences. Drifter was not the play for my first game back, let me just say that. But this definitely not Warwick character is someone I'll definitely be looking to play more. He excels in isolated fights, but I just got bullied in lane. Not to mention he likes to roam a lot, power farm camps, and get isolated ganks as much as possible. Then there's me, fighting for my life to get a single minion kill. Paige has wonderful flair. She conjures a bunch of things with her spellbook, and I can't lie, I love her ultimate. She sends out an army of spectral horse riders. It's sick. I didn't get to play Mina, but evidently she's the worst win rate hero Deadlock has ever seen. Couldn't tell you why exactly, but I can tell you why people are picking her. I mean, impressive. Come on, Valve. Lastly, we had Billy. He and I seem to have the most in common and got off on the right foot. Or should I say, hoof. Bro just wants to ram in, melee some people, and go crazy. And if nothing else, I do know how to hold W. I also got to look at some of the other heroes I hadn't seen or weren't familiar with, who'd released previously. I became a little too familiar, however, with Holiday, because she just loved to send me to the death screen. And aside from the new map layout and the new heroes, there was another elephant in the room. Items and the shop. Hey boy, I'm gonna tell you what. I was lost. I think I just barely began to grasp the items when I was grinding before, learning what would work best with certain heroes or at what point in the game. But wherever that knowledge was stored in my brain, oh, it's gone now. There's new items too, and it was all so overwhelming. I kept having people in my chat tell me that if Deadlock was only a game about shopping, I already lost. saying I just straight up lost in the shop menu, bro. And trying custom builds prove more confusing when they have like 20 different options. They just like the whole entire store there, and they're just like, oh, buy what you need. Yeah. Look, you know what I need? I just need someone to tell me exactly how to live my life. But that's the beautiful thing about Deadlock. The depth. It's why I enjoyed grinding it before, and will enjoy grinding it again in the future. There's so much to it, so much nuance, that it never gets boring. There's always something new to learn or something to get better at. For me, I realized I just couldn't keep up in souls. I feel like I was farming my dick off only to find I was the lowest souls in the lobby again and again. And that's just a skill issue. Something I'll have to work on. I learned other stuff about the map, like how crates and bases have more valuable rewards now, and how punching the slot machine at the right time can give you permanent stat buffs. And I can't wait to see what else they cook up from now until the beta, whenever that will be. Because I honestly don't know what their timetable looks like. I don't even know if they have a timetable. They might just be vibing it out. I mean, after all, it is Valve. But whenever that day comes, you can bet you'll find me grinding like a degenerate. Hopefully fun content will come from it. But even if it doesn't, it's a game I'll enjoy on my own time. I'm curious to hear what you guys think, though. What's Deadlock's fate? Are you playing it now? If yes, what keeps you playing? If not, what made you stop if you had even played in the first place? If you made it this far, it also means you heard out my entire yap and won't jump to different conclusions, and I appreciate you. I would like to promise you some random Deadlock content every now and then, but if games continue to go how they were going the other day, well, there's not much content to be had. Yeesh.